Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It's a fresh week. It's the last week of February. It's the 24th. Today, we're talking about the buy-sell market outlook, Ford welcoming in some new media, and one of the best places to work
Everywhere I go,
sells fried food.
who I is and who I be. They stop.
It's not who you think either.
That's right.
It's not who you think.
It's not. You would think, but it's not.
Last week of February, my friend. It's going to be
Last
March.
week of February.
It's going to be March by Saturday.
And
How's
March
that
is
feel?
going to be epic. Everybody in the car business is like,
That's
you know, like,
March this year. Oh,
yeah.
I know
It's
I
going
know
to be
it.
wonderful.
Oh, we're excited
Saturdays.
around in the upstate. I'm so excited for a few reasons. Number one, but I'm not excited about this, but I did kind of underdress on the layers this morning. I'm realizing I'm wearing this new thing. I made this like months ago, and you can't tell how nice it is and see the whole fit. But this is getting me excited. But just because it's going to be like in the 40s today.
It's 40.
I should have wore a long sleeve under this, and I'm like, I'm kind of chilly, actually.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we're okay.
we got so cold last week. It was crazy, but we're getting like 60 and sunny today, which is it's still not, it's actually not normal. So, but it's kind of like a
it's gonna
departure
feel
from
like summertime,
what it
man.
felt like. I was coaching soccer this weekend, had like the hand warmers, the foot warmers, the whole 9 yards.
How'd that feel?
35
Coaching soccer.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
If
like
you've
I can
never
see you being a
coached kids-
freaking awesome coach.
I love coaching kids sports. It's one of my favorite things. And like young kids soccer, my boy is 9. And so we're in that like U9. So I have like 9 and 8-year-olds, and they're transitioning right now from this blob ball. Like they sometimes get caught in it, but they're really transitioning into understanding space and being aware of the movement of the game, thinking ahead. They've got passing, there's back and forth. Like that awareness is really coming in, which is a lot of fun because that's where I start to get into the real
strategery of it all.
The strategery.
I know.
Hey, we're going to be talking strategery a lot at ASOTU CON this year, Paul. I mean, we've really thought about topics that span the entire dealership, right? Like you go to some conferences and it's pinned to marketing, or it's pinned to operations, or it's pinned to fixed ops. But we've got like 4 or 5 conversations around fixed ops, marketing, AI, operations, culture and leadership, community engagement, the M&A market, the global tech industry. Like if you want to have an overview, the automotive state of the union, that's the place to look at. ASOTU, you know?
Be at ASOTU CON May 13th through 5th. I mean, what is it? Were the actual dates 13th through 15th?
Yeah, you got to stay till the night of the 15th, though. Don't think that just because we've put 15,
don't head out early.
Home at 1 o'clock. That's not how this one works.
No, it's not, because good quality content is stacked through the end of the event. Actually, last year, day 2 was more crowded than day 1, which is the opposite of how it always is. So, look, we hope you join us. You can go to ASOTUCON.com, get tickets. They're still discounted right now. There are still some hotel rooms available in the main hotel. That's going to change. It's going to change quickly, especially as we head in the month and into March. And then it's like in your mind, it's like, oh, it's a whole month closer, even though it's only a few days closer than it is right now. Check it out. We're going to be populating more speakers, more session titles. But look, if you've been there in the past, you've heard anyone else that's gone, know that ASOTU CON delivers on very high quality content, very high caliber people participating. And it's the place you should be, because we also have great swag and a great venue and great food and all the other good things. And it's easy to get to. It's in Hanover, Maryland, which is kind of north of Annapolis, south of Baltimore. Flying to BWI, DCA. I mean, BWI is the best place to fly in. It's like 10 minutes away.
But I flew into IAD last year, and it's really only like a 45-minute drive. So depending on what your flight costs are, you're good.
No excuse to not be able to get there easily. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about some news. Dealership buy-sell market is expected to stay active yet again in 2025.
Absolutely.
Things like normalizing store profits, making buyers more cautious in finalizing transactions, perhaps. But the top performing stores in desirable markets will still fetch very high valuations. Political expectations, including Donald Trump's presidency, along with lower dealership pricing and aging owners looking to sell, are now what is being credited toward fueling the market. Last week, we reported on the Asbury Auto Group acquiring New England's Herd Chambers for $1.34 billion in one of the largest deals in recent history. The 2025 Dealer Outlook survey found that 56% of respondents are not planning to buy or sell, while 19% plan to buy, 4.4% plan to sell. So you can do the math on supply and demand there.
Absolutely.
And Automotive News tracked 349 buy sells in 2024, down from 382 in 2021, which was a peak year in the industry. COO of Ed Morse Auto Group, Randy Hoffman, says, quote, "I'm definitely still getting as many offerings to look at as I've gotten in the past 2 years."
Yeah, I've talked to multiple owner operators already that are still getting deals put in front of their faces every single week, just new opportunities to buy. So I think it's interesting. I wonder if they actually got everyone, because I think that 4.4 planning to sell is a little bit higher. I think also there's maybe this gap. Obviously, you see the gap in the numbers where there are those that are open to sell. Maybe not planning to sell, but they're open to sell if the right deal comes along. So I see a lot of M&A activity, and especially as you start to see shrinking margins, right? You've got this like still an opportunity with a hot used car market to get out while you've got some strong profitability and you've got a good market price, without having to like see the downturn of what might be the next few years of like squeezing profitability. And you look at these larger groups, the Asburys, even some of the mid-sized groups, the 50 to 75 groups, really refining efficiency to be able to capitalize in a time where we have squeezed margins. So my spidey senses are saying we're going to see a year closer to 2021, because valuations high, margin squeezing, opportunity is to get out while they're getting good.
Wow, that'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's only February. We'll be talking about this, I'm sure, at ASOTU CON in one way, shape, or form. I have noticed in conversations I've been having with dealers that strategic acquisition, like the strategy behind it, is very precise. I talked to a large dealer group who turned down a Toyota store, believe it or not.
Whoa.
People have a plan.
That just kind of blew my mind.
They have a plan when they're turning down Toyota stores these days. I don't know. Maybe the price is a little too high. Wow. I don't know. I don't know. I want us to transition for this one so bad, but I just can't get us there. Next story. Ford is shaking up its media strategy by replacing its traditional press center with, quote, Ford from the Road. It's a new platform on a website, basically, designed to cater to the growing influence of content creators over mainstream media. The From the Road channel provides videos, photos, articles, some created by Ford, others sourced from digital creators and influencers. Traditional press releases remain available, but are now tucked away in a separate tab, signaling a major shift away from legacy media formats. A Pew Research study showed that 21% of U.S. adults regularly consume news from influencers, jumping to 37% among young adults under 30. So if you're under 30, you're getting 37%. You're checking out your news. Ian Coing, Ford's head of creative and content, explains, quote, "We're entering this era of consumers building their own niche content and channel ecosystems. This all comes as the Trump administration is opening up the White House briefing room for influencers and podcasts." We should fill in our application, by the way.
I know.
With thousands of applicants to the new media seats.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to start to see this trend, although I would say that this trend, as far as media, has already been out there for a while, and we see like mid-market plays for this type of media already abounding, and you're starting to see the larger organizations, the White House, the larger publics start to realize that, hey, they've got to get in on this opportunity. I think one of the reasons why we were at Public Policy Day in DC just a couple of weeks ago is because the new media necessity is so much higher now, because it actually builds the brand and the trust authority way faster. Like speed of trust for the words being said is so much higher with new media.
You just think of what it takes to generate new press about your company that people actually want to read.
Oh, my goodness.
Not just stuff that's like, hey, here's what we want to talk about, but the validation of other influencers and creators putting content out into the world that they want to talk about around your brand, and now being able to pay it because they're paying attention to that, and they have a platform and a place to put it, to be able to source it, highlight it. I'm sure the influencer or the source feels great when they show up on Ford's site, and it just feels like a winning formula. Brett Morgan on Instagram said,
this is an ejection from the current story.
Nathan, but much appreciated. Nathan, our show producer, puts in the notes from Brett Morgan on Instagram: "Y'all's beard game should never be ignored, and yes, valuations aren't aligned with current market profits.
That's an interesting one because Brett is always on acquisition search at this point, from what I know of him. And, you know, with a large market presence in Florida, you're seeing like, yeah, current market profits are trending down, are trending more baseline, yet you still see these super high valuations. And I think that's because of this opportunity for efficiency and just gaining net new bottom line from efficient operators, right? We talked about that last week. Herb is not failing. They're not going down. Herb is an efficient operator in the top 20 list that Asbury picked up. You're going to see these large groups strategically acquiring other mid-sized to large groups.
Well, Brett, thanks for making us part of your morning, and thanks for giving us a little inside information on your perspective. But speaking of efficient operators,
hey,
segue
time. Not the French fried food you think it is.
You weren't thinking In-N-Out Burger when we said it at the top of the hour, but they've been named one of America's best large employers, ranking number 8 on Forbes' annual list, ahead of corporate giants like Apple and NASA.
Wow.
The ranking is based on a few things like employee surveys, evaluating workplace satisfaction, compensation, and company culture. Obviously, In-N-Out, if you've ever been to it, really just a fun place to be. So you got to imagine it's a fun place to work. They have continued to set themselves apart in the fast food industry. The company is also making big moves geographically.
You're excited about this one.
It's California HQ in Baldwin Park and expanding to
Nashville.
Tennessee.
It's Nashville, right?
Where it will open 30 plus locations. So they're coming after you, Whataburger. You better watch out. Top 10 on the list. Here they come. Notre Dame, Trader Joe's, Houston Methodist, NVIDIA, Navy Federal Credit Union, Google, Microsoft, In-N-Out, Delta, and Raymond James Financial. Check out these in the automotive vertical in the top 100. Number 86, Bridgestone, 71, Toyota, and making it in the top 100, Holman Enterprises.
Wow.
Wild. So
friends over there
dealership owner operator. Pretty wild. Yeah.
That is great. You know, I think the headquarters is coming to Nashville, isn't it?
No, I don't think they're moving their headquarters.
I mean, oh, they're not. I thought
they're just expanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see something that a number of people are relocating to Tennessee from California. I mean, that's not outside what the trend is anyway. But I think they're opening like 9 up in Nashville is what I read.
It makes total sense. I'm telling you, you know what's crazy? We you know, In-N-Out is consistently compared to I guess they are bringing an office here. It's not going to be their final headquarters, but they are bringing an office here. But In-N-Out is consistently compared to Whataburger. Whataburger came back into the Nashville area last year. And like most of the time when you go to a Whataburger in anything south of Nashville, it's like a Chick-fil-A double wrapped around the side all day, every day.
Wow,
and that just hasn't been the case. So I wonder if you see In-N-Out going, wonder if we can kind of like score some business on the back of Whataburger not really taking off.
Interesting. I've never been to a Whataburger. Last time I was at an In-N-Out, because we don't have them here in upstate New York, I was with you and we were in Arizona for some reason. Yep. And we passed the Carvana headquarters when Carvana was just about out of business. It was a very memorable moment. Oh yeah, we were at a 20 group with David Kane. That's what we were out there for. Look, I think the bottom line is we can learn as an industry from these things. Like people can say, Chick-fil-A established this as well, but like, oh, what is someone who makes burgers and asks if you want fries with that? How can they have one of the best places to work? Because it's not about necessarily what exactly you're doing. It's about finding the purpose in what you do and the culture around that. So I think the auto industry has so much to learn from this. So many auto dealers already are doing this and making dealerships some of the best places to work in the country. This is just another example. I can't wait. We're gonna see a dealer group crack the top 50 next year.
Absolutely. I can see it coming.
I can see it coming too. Look, we hope you have an amazing day today. It's Monday. It's the last week of February, heading into March. There's so much to be excited about, so much to put the pedal down on. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure go to ASOTUCON.com, get your tickets. We'll see you in May.